If they lose, they're tied for second. And Secret, they're kind of in the middle of the pack. But if they do win this series, then
there's another tie.
I guess there's a tie for fourth, which I don't know if that even matters. Does it? I can't even remember anymore. I mean, there's no major, so I guess it doesn't matter either way, right?
For EU, for points, and Valve said they would do something. So
right,
there's yeah. I mean, it probably.
You know, I have a feeling that they might sponsor Midas Mode 3.
I think that's
the DPC.
Yeah, actually, Gaben emailed me and said that that's going to be happening officially.
Uh-oh. Nisha getting chased, taking a lot of damage, but Puppy's there to link up. Yeah, that would be a glorious thing. I mean, talk about the best PR move possible. Just give money to Slacks and good things happen.
That's a great idea. Just like this aggro tri-lane from Team Tickles looks like it's turning out to be quite a great idea as well. Here's Suns fan. Jakiro definitely... Go on.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, so we're going to be interrupting us quite a bit. I don't have as good synergy with you as I do Synderen, considering most of our conversations are just bickering back and forth.
He's a robot, so the network issues already exist for him.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually a very good point that I didn't really think about. As the bounty runes have cometh, and it looks like there's going to be an even trade between the two teams. So, talk about the lineups. What do you like? What do you dislike?
I like the core Jakiro. I mean, there's a few spammers in EU that are climbing with this hero. You get the Aghanim Shard. It does a bunch of damage, and it actually sets up for Ice Path because of the little mini stun, which is really cool. Aghanim Scepter, big damage. I'm really excited to see Ice play this here, and he has a great lane matchup. I mean, any lane he goes into would be good in this game.
I mean, there was a time where, I mean, I wouldn't say it was spammed, but I mean, Digital Chaos, the great Digital Chaos.
The great, yes, of course, we all remember.
The Jakiro mid was a thing for a little bit. What makes him, I should say them, right? And what makes them a good hero in the offlane particularly, or does it really matter?
I think they just make sense for the offlane. Lane domination, pressure, as we can see, Ice is already applying that with his little fire breath. You take towers, you stun, you're tanky, you do all the things you want an offlaner to do in the current patch.
Fair enough. Bottom lane, we're going to see the reflection go off as Nisha is kind of stuck in the trees. Nice pressure here from Team Tickles, but they are technically tri-laning right now. Do you expect Secret to bring a third wheel here as well? Or will Tickles just dissipate this tri-lane?
I don't know if they have to. Usually when Tickles does this, they will rotate their support out eventually. So you know that Tickles is going to be doing some sort of like lane swapping around. And so yeah, you can go for it. Maybe you get like a early level 2 on the Spirit Breaker and then charge in. That seems like probably a better option here. Then I feel like Team Tickles tri-lanes, they do aggro tri more than they just do regular dual lanes at this point. Like every game we see them, they're doing this.
Well, seems to be working. They're tied for first pretty much right now.
Yep.
And I mean, would you say, I mean, this I guess goes without saying, but I guess I should ask you since you are the analyst here.
Of course, yes, naturally.
Have they been the biggest surprise for the EU, for any DPC, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think people anticipated that they would be decent, but I mean, they look like the best team in this. Especially after the series today. Like, Tickles has looked really dominant, and Liquid looked slightly shaky, or perhaps it was Alliance looking a lot stronger today, but like Tickles has not been touched in a long time. That's the phrasing on that was not so good.
Yeah, the phrasing with the team name as being Tickles, maybe not the best.
I should have thought about that one, but yeah, it's been they've been looking very competitive.
Normally, you do think before you speak. That's how it typically goes for human beings.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Try that out sometime.
Yeah, as an ape, it's just different for me.
Well, I didn't want to say anything. As Yapzor making his transition to the bot lane, so he's going to meet up potentially with Puppy. Nisha will not continue with the charge, though, as we see a static link onto Nisha.
Yeah, lane's in a bad place for a charge. Great place for a Razor to steal some damage and just like auto deny everything.
How do you say Razor's name, by the way?
Razor.
Okay, great. Tofu getting charged at. And there's a metamorphosis from Nisha. Bash on the Tofu as well, but the living armor Gonna keep him nice and safe. Do you say Diraccio, Jenkins? Is that like the super American way to say it?
I don't know.
Yeah. There's no way that's right. There's no way that's right. It's fun to say, though.
I don't know.
Oh, that's even worse.
Hey, he's a good...
That's like a Canadian with brain damage pronunciation right there.
You're not far off. He's a good player. That's all I know. This guy's shaking up the meta.
You know, before this cast, I was like, you know, for once, I'm going to be nice to Jenkins. We're going to be nice to each other. I just can't help it. What is it with you? This brings out the worst in me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be nice to you the rest of the cast, okay?
Nice. You're a piece of shit.
Diraccio looks like he might get the first kill here onto Puppey. Will do so. Absolutely no problem. And YapzOr getting chased out as well. So this aggro tri-lane has been working out quite well. I mean, look at the CS for Terribly. 8 and 3 for Nisha right now. That is rough.
Yeah, not going so well. And Ace is actually doing fine up here. Maybe a lot of that is the living armor spam coming out on him. Maybe a lot of that is just that he's dying in order to get the last hits.
And Nisha getting very low again. As Ace getting chased in the top lane. Ice connected with Puppey. Looks like they'll find a kill here. Wow. So off lane going relatively well. 20 and 6 CS for Ice. And for Ace himself, 19 and 7. So I guess it's a bit of a wash, but at the same time, like you said, Jakiro, the type of hero that's just going to be pushing these lanes constantly.
Yeah, Ace.
And the one lane we haven't really discussed is mid. Go ahead.
Ace had his boots backpack. That's like that was a little bit rough, and right before nighttime too. I feel like that's just about the perfect timing that you can get a kill in this lane. Although, in Team Tickles fashion, they never keep the tri-lane for too long. They always look for a play in nighttime. Decent timing. Just kidding. He's just sitting in the trees and pressing Q.
I mean, they got a lot of fat, juicy boys in this top lane now. It's going to be pretty difficult to kill both Ace and Celery. But they do have the pushing power. And actually, Nisha made his way up here. I'm not sure if he's going to go back to the triangle or something like that. But his game is not looking great at the moment. But mid lane, Jenkins, how about we do a little system here where I say back to you, Jenkins?
That's fine.
How about that?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Back to you, Dakota.
Every single time. In the middle of a fight. Back to you, Jenkins.
Anyway, speaking of...
This is where you talk.
Yeah, I know it's going. I think Nisha's up here... Or not Nisha. What am I talking about? Oh, it is Nisha. Yeah, Nisha's up here. Because,
hold on. When I tell you to talk... Oh, wait. I was going to insult you. Never mind. All right, go ahead.
This is not going well. This is an important series. He's getting the tower. He's securing this. There's a Treant Protector. Team Tickles wants to defend this, but it's very difficult versus Jakiro.
They're going to TP in. They do get the tower. Does Secret. Ice might be resigned to his death. Puppey not level 6 quite yet, so looks like they're actually going to aggress onto Tofu. Very nice kill from Secret. Ice continue to get chased by Ace. Looks like he might be able to get the kill, but the slow from the tether might be enough in conjunction as the overcharge going, so a little bit of damage mitigation. YapzOr has made his way over. The charge is coming through. It's going to hit both heroes, but he gets slowed up. So they are going to lose Ice, but Ace is going to be the trade. So Secret definitely taking the favorable trade here overall.
Flawless positioning with that tether. Let's see, what level is the tether? I believe he has that at level 2, so 25% movement slow. It's not that much, but it constantly reapplies, so if you can manage to position yourself like that, then yeah, it's very effective, but it's a lot easier said than done because you can pretty easily break the tether or just get the angle wrong where they're not being slowed by it at all, and he catches up, gets the void, and you don't actually end up getting the kill there on the Night Stalker. Back to you.
The lane I've been wanting to talk to. I've been wanting to talk about for so long now. It's already over. Is the mid lane?
Who gives a shit, dude? I mean,
a great job. YapzOr top lane. Oh, he's gonna get EMP'd. Charge does connect briefly, but looks like he's likely gonna fall here. Pretty fast though. Has his phase boots. Getting chased around these trees by Celery and company, and Boom is gonna take credit for this one as he blocks him in completely. And nicely done from Team Tickles again. As Ice, who made his way bot lane, gets taken out pretty fast. So he's going to be, I would assume, without a TP, yeah, for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a big deal because early game Jakiro is all about running around, especially when you're maxing out Liquid Fire and pressuring towers. And there's only like a 10 to 15 minute window, depending on the game, that you can get away with just running at a tower and pressing buttons on it without the entire enemy team showing up and killing you. So losing like a minute because you're walking out to lane with power treads is pretty impactful. Like that's not what he's not happy about that. If you had TP, it's like, okay, I died, whatever, you know, TP to the lane. But this is crucial timing to be losing here.
Yeah. We've waited so long to talk about mid lane that it's a Terrorblade versus Razor now. Things have changed quite a bit, it seems. There was, I thought, a smoke from Team Tickles, but not able to connect on anything here. Sumail, I mean, looking at Sumail's farm, you can see that he has won the mid lane, but I don't know if that's kind of expected versus a Quaswex Invoker. Would you say this is about par for course?
I mean, Sumail has a lot of jungle CS. So, like, his CS is good, but his the network difference isn't that much. And he also hasn't rotated at all on Sumail, whereas Boom has. And so he's kind of given back to the other lanes. So, yeah. I mean, that's why we haven't talked about mid. Nothing was really happening there.
A lot happens mid.
Yeah,
CS is very important. As we're going to see Puppey use his ult to get Sumail into good position to try to take out Dyrachyo as Boom comes in. Oh, nice. Dodge on the tornado. Looks like Dyrachyo is going to take a tumble here. As Puppey, 2 more seconds, might bring back Sumail. He will do so. Ends up being a 1-for-1 ice for Dyrachyo. Position 1 for 3. As Sumail able to snag the rune for himself. Gets glimpsed shortly after, though. And it is a haste rune, so he's going to continue on. Kinetic field is placed. Actually, he's stuck inside. Oh, he actually dodges the overgrowth and gets out of the kinetic field simultaneously. Puppey getting chased. The cold snap applied. It looks like he's going to be taken out by the tornado, so Sumail, at the very least, they force out a couple TPs in the mid lane, and they only lose a support.
Yeah, Sumail was trying to save Puppey by staying tethered, which gives Puppey the hasted move speed constantly, but Tickles just able to chain stun him here. Sumail didn't have quite enough mana. He didn't want to zip out of that. And it's good because he saved the mana and he's able to zip out of the Treant ulti. Puppey does go down here. Just the chain stun from Invoker plus the Urn plus the, you know, Disruptor Q. There's no getting out of there. You're gonna get glimpsed back anyway.
Yeah, Secret did have like I want to say a 2K net worth lead not too long ago. So this is evened up pretty quickly after the fact. Is Ace in the bot lane, waiting for nighttime so he can become useful. That's not for another 4 minutes, but does have his ult to work with. And looks like his purchase will be an Echo Saber. Boom. Very close to finishing the Spirit Vessel, which I would assume will be followed up with a Hand of Midas, if he's going to follow the cookie cutter Invoker type build, as this Tier 1 tower looks to be taking some damage, if not just being given up by Secret at this point.
Yeah, it's a pain to defend this. You know you're playing into a Night Stalker who's got that ultimate. It's low enough at this point. At some point, you just sack the tower. And yeah, I think Hand of Midas after, you know, it is the standard build on Invoker, but there's also decent setup for the Cataclysm on Team Tickles. They have the Treant ulti as well as the Disruptor ulti. So it's a, you know, decent eventual Cataclysm game, but you can see he's aiming for, actually he's going for drums. Drums BKB. So they're trying to play fast. All right, well, scratch literally everything that I just said. He is trying to run at them.
Have you ever seen drums repurchased after the charges have gone out in a pro game?
I saw somebody with the drums in their quick buy. I think it was Tundra. Oh, no, maybe it was actually Dyrachyo. I have seen it thought about recently. But no, never.
Thought about, but not committed
never
to.
Committed to. Never committed to.
So probably just a misclick into the queue.
Yeah, I feel like it's an edgelord thing to do. You know, it's like, oh, we're winning so handedly here that I can, you know, repurchase drums. It does give a lot of
it's interesting because I figured over the years that they would buff it to the point where it would be worth it at some point. But it's been like 10 years. I feel like I've actually never seen it.
I feel like there's a lot of new players, or maybe I should say, maybe the phrasing on that is wrong. A lot of the new players probably don't even know that you can repurchase drums, the recipe.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, back in the day, you used to have charges on Diffusal Blade.
I was going to say, and then there's a lot of old players that are like, well, yeah, just like Diffusal Blade, right?
Yeah. Well, but the Fusil Blade you couldn't repurchase, right? You had to upgrade it. You would lose the original charges. So you'd be... It was such a weird like dynamic where you want to use your first 8 charges, then upgrade, and then you have 8 more charges, and then you're done. Then you have no more for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Why can't we get the same love for drums, Jenkins? Why does nobody love drums?
I don't know. I always felt like that mechanic felt kind of weird anyway. Not sure what's exactly off about it. I don't think anybody's repurchased the drums and been like, yeah, that was a good life decision. People always feel uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I remember casting a pro game back when Black was playing for, I think it was Team Tinker, and he purchased drums on a Naga Siren in a 60-minute game. He ended up selling it later and literally never used 1 drum charge the whole game. His top lane, Sumail, brought in by Puppey. They're looking for Seller. You can see that this is the Orchid reveal, I do believe. So that's going to be a freebie.
Did they just catch a glimpse of him?
And
they're just like, all right, we'll just go for this guy. We can catch him with the Storm. Yeah, there's no ward up there, nothing like that.
Must have been like a grasp on creeps or something like that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, cool call. Anyway, back to Black. Yeah, so he didn't use the drum charge, you say?
Yeah, it's a very interesting story, I know. It really stuck with me that somebody bought an item, never used it, and then sold it. As Sumail might be getting jumped here. This is a smoke attempt from Team Tickles, but Ice is here with a nice ice path. But there is the Static Storm Kinetic Field combo onto Storm Spirit. So Sumail dies, buys back in the game, though. Overgrowth onto only 1 hero. It looks like Ace actually dies on the backside. But this did cost a buyback onto the Sumail. So Team Tickles probably happy with this engagement. We'll try to defend this tier 1 tower as well.
I think Ace underestimated the damage from all of the Jakiro spells there. He kind of just ran in to secure the Sumail kill, but just dies to all of the fire that Ice put on the ground.
Oh, there we go. Nisha sunders a teammate, trying to go on Duracha. Looks like they're going to be taken out very easily. Puppey, in the meantime, Spirit Vessel is applied. Looks like he's going to live through that, though. Has to be careful. On the outskirts here is Boom. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to actually finish off Puppey here, but at the very least, they defend the tier 1 tower. And that's the beauty of having a Treant Protector. You're able to defend, you just heal it back up to full HP. Give it enough time.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a classic, like, weird pro game thing where one of the teams has a tree, so they're like, we need to defend every tower. And then because the enemy team has a tree, Secret is like, we need to commit every hero to this tower, otherwise tree just heals it. So you end up with this 5v5 mid, which otherwise, like, probably wouldn't happen because it's obviously not the most efficient thing to be doing on the map. You're not really getting great farm this way for either side.
Yep, that's true. And you're kind of, I mean, there's still 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes left on the night for Ace, who has the double damage. It's dissipating though. Echo Saber has been finished as well. Let's Boom, like you said, was working on drums. Hasn't really done anything with it yet. Still just sitting on the Spirit Vessel with 0 charges right now. Obviously, a great pick. I mean, that's something you pick up a lot of times on Invoker anyway, but against an IO, extremely important to have.
Yeah, IO...
And then on the other side... Go ahead, back to you.
IO these days is less about the relocate saves and a lot more weight is on the like healing and the the instant holy locket and like jebaiting somebody. So I feel like Vessel has become a mandatory purchase versus the IO, whereas before it was kind of just like good against the IO. Now you kind of need one, otherwise the hero just kind of feels a little too OP. You know, it's exactly why the hero is like a first phase pick, first phase ban for a lot of teams. Because if you can play it really well and your team is comfortable jebaiting with it, then it's a lot stronger. Back to you, Dakota.
Thank you, Yapzor. Getting a little jungle action here. He's going to use his Shadow Amulet.
Brilliant.
To go invisible.
Beautiful.
He is ticking away very slowly here to the grass, but he will survive. Gets off the charge. And what? Tofu is? Okay, if he's a little closer, could have gotten the glimpse off potentially. Is it going to be TP's mid? We'll see what this turns into. Is Ace trying to jump onto Ice. Going to get glimpse back, though, into the kinetic field. And probably right-clicked into Oblivion. Even a Static Storm placed. Not sure what that was for, but maybe expecting another hero from Secret in the vicinity, but it was not to be this time around. And Team Tickles able to secure themselves a tier 1 tower, and it looks like potentially Puppey as well. Double kill for Boom. As Sumail jumps in, you see the buyback on the Ice Dyrachyo, popping that newly picked up BKB. The Treant Protector is going to be the sacrifice at the very least, but YapzOr gets a triple bash charge into the Nether Strike. Note, they don't have vision on Dyrachyo now. And he's continually getting bashed over and over thanks to that cold snap, so down goes YapzOr. And the rest of Team Tickles looks like they want to continue to fight, but that's a lot of damage from Sumail. He's able to pick off one, but there's the overgrowth to follow. This could be a dieback onto Sumail now. He does find Dyrachyo at the very least, and he zips away to safety. Just enough mana to get away for now. Oh, but there's the cold snap with the tornado and the sunstrike. So Sumail dieback for Secret, as Team Tickles have lost a couple members here, but I think they're going to be still relatively happy with this trade.
These have been very value shadow amulets in this game for both sides.
If they find Ice, this would be a dieback as well, but Puppey is in the area. Oh, does it matter? Okay, the Sunder from Nisha keeps him alive, and we see the Ice Path into the Macropyre with the dual breath to follow. So much damage being applied to Boom. He's ticking away very slowly, but will live through the day. But Ace ends up finishing off Ice, so 2 diebacks for Secret.
Yeah, this fight it just seemed like it was going on endlessly, but it all started with the Disruptor Night Stalker combo that Team Tickles, they really love to run this. You got the glimpse back with the Night Stalker vision. Is this going to be a replay of the entire fight? Because it's 2 minutes long.
Please cast everything.
Dyrachyo, of course, is saved by both the Glimmer Cape as well as Treant Armor, BKB, effectively immune to everything. Glimmered again. YapzOr finally gets in, and he's able to dust him, but by that time, Dyrachyo turns and just murders him. Nisha seemed unwilling to chase into the low ground there. Sumail goes in, gets ulted by the Treant Protector.
Oh. Well,
there's stuff
in live action,
game.
We have 3 heroes from Team Secret inside the Static Storm, but it's not going to last long enough, so Ace can get bashed into oblivion. Tofu not able to get away thanks to that pig pull, so that's going to be 2 quick kills for Secret. And we saw in the last fight, a bunch of BKBs were picked up seemingly simultaneously. The BKB for Dyrachyo and the one for Nisha. I believe he took apart his Dragon Lance to be able to make that BKB in time for the fight, and has now finished the Dragon Lance after the fact.
Yeah. And
into the Roche Pit they go.
On the flip side, Ace is about to have his BKB too, so I would imagine he's going to disassemble the Echo Saber. With how many fights there have been in this game so far, everybody's looking to do these disassemble tricks so that they can, you know, get the edge faster. But with Ace being dead...
Now, for Night Stalkers, we're going to see Roche, yeah, it's being scanned out, but they're not going to get here in time. They actually are TPing to the outpost, but a little too late. Sumail picks up the Aegis. And YapzOr looking to go high ground potentially. So, does Night Stalker end up making the Echo Saber again after disassembling? Is it one of the few heroes that keeps it?
I've seen like everything. I've seen Night Stalkers go for Orchid, which seems kind of bad. I've seen them making it again. I've seen them just leaving it as the Oblivion staff. Depends on what you want, but I feel like it is pretty value on Night Stalker because you can go in Crippling Fear, hit them twice, and keep them in the Crippling Fear, and then void them afterwards. It's like you can kill people without using void, which means people can't TP away from you, and that's really nice. So I do think it's value.
I'll have to wait and see what he does. Ice has a Witchblade, by the way, going for BKB. Not every day you see a BKB on a Jakiro, so that's going to be fun. And we've talked about Sumail in the past with that Orchid. He's working on the BK. It feels like there's going to be 6 BKBs this game at the very least. Boom actually went for not only drums but boots of travel before going for BKB, so he can afford the Ogre Club now, but likely will go for that next. And even YapzOr, position 4 Spirit Breaker, going for BKB. This is has there ever been a game that you've cast or been in where all 10 people get BKB?
I don't think...
It's not going to happen here, but...
I don't think 10... It's usually the position 5s that are just a little too pathetic to get the BKB. But if anybody's going to do it, it will be Puppey. Even on IO. I have seen the IO BKB on occasion.
Oh, yeah?
So we might see 5 on Secret.
Oh, Nisha getting glimpsed. Doesn't want to pop that BKB. You can see IO coming in as well. Ace pops his ult. Nisha has to get the BKB off. There's the overgrowth to hold him in place. You can see the TPs from the rest of Secret are here. The Sunder onto the Tree and Protector. Sumail finishes him off in style. You can showing off that newly picked up BKB for himself, but he's running out of mana very swiftly here. It's Dyrachyo. He's basically out of mana as well. Just has to run away. Ice Path not going to quite connect. Sumail, that's the Aegis. The Team Tickles regrouping. It's still a 5 versus 4 in favor of Secret. Static Storm and Kinetic Field combination onto 2 heroes, as Dyrachyo is just going to right-click the Storm Spirit down to Oblivion. And Nisha, with that Spirit Vessel applied, trying to right-click Dyrachyo in the meantime. Not able to connect on any more kills, it looks like. It is daytime, though. So Secret potentially could re-engage. It is 4v3, no nighttime, no Night Stalker in general. It looks like this is going to break things up here. It's very back-and-forth fights here from both respective teams.
Yeah, I think probably... I don't know who that's better for. It's a bit even, because like obviously Secret gets the better trade there, but you lose the Aegis, and I don't know if that's how you want to spend the Aegis. I think the reason that it didn't go better for Secret is just because Dyrachyo gets so much damage drain here, and yeah, sure you lose Celery, but Celery had already used his abilities on this Sunder here. He used it to force actually to force the Sunder after the BKB from Terrorblade. Once all of the BKBs are down, it's fairly easy to kill Sumail after he respawns here. This Static Storm, super game-changing. He hits 3 heroes with it, but he started hitting all 5. It's great area control, so Dyrachyo can go in and soak a ton of damage from Nisha, who otherwise would have probably killed a bunch of heroes of Team Tickles. Yeah, that's about what I would expect from.
Yep, from Puppy's face. Very Stonewall.
He does exist, as I saw there.
He is alive. We can confirm. Unless that is a deep fake. One day, deep fake will take over the world.
Hard to tell these days. Hard to tell.
True. Doesn't have much facial animation, as I like to say.
Yeah, the deep fake will probably have more, to be honest. Alright, finally.
As you can see the alacrity onto Dyrachyo now. Trying to take out this tier 1 tower. It's going to be fortified for now, though. But you can see they're really focusing on defending this mid lane. Jenkins, you're exactly right. Thanks to this Tree and Protector, they...
Yep.
I mean, it is value. I can't really blame them.
Although, glimpse back on Puppy.
Yep.
He's fine.
He is hasted, though.
Yep.
He'll be okay, it looks like.
I can't help but feel that...
Ooh, Dyrachyo. Whoa, BKB popped. Interesting. Huh. Is that a misclick?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's afraid of the storm jump. I don't know. Happens. I feel like Secret is farming just fine, despite not taking this mid tower. I think their heroes are just able to like consume a lot of the map really comfortably because they have Spirit Breaker who can charge from anywhere. They have Io who can relocate from anywhere. Terrorblade who can push out with illusions.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind is that these last fights, Dyrachyo has been sitting on basically 4K worth of dead weight in items, which is 2 perseverances, which will now become a refresher. So double BKB, double Eye of the Storm. They just hit kind of a big power spike. So I don't know if this 5K net worth lead is... I mean, we'll see.
Think about that for a second.
Sticks for Secret.
This guy has 4K worth of dead net worth in his inventory. That is Celery's entire net worth. He's got a Celery's worth. Now that's how pathetic position 5s are. This guy's 11K MMR.
It's a tree, though. Like, what are you gonna do?
How dare you?
Are you like tree? Are you a big tree player?
Oh, well, I just think he's had a profound impact on this tree.
I see. Well, Dyrachyo, he's gonna get jumped. Ace is in the vicinity. He's gonna get Orchided, though, so can't really help. And that is gonna be a really easy pick on Dyrachyo, and it looks like Ace is next with a Nether Strike to lock him down. So Team Secret able to find a nice couple of core kills in their own jungle.
Yeah, those, I mean, that's not good for Tickles. It really isn't. Those are the 2 kind of like carry type heroes too. I feel like Invoker, he's going for like a very spell casting sort of build, and your 2 like carry right clickers just died in front of the enemy base as this Tricore versus a Terrorblade. I feel like this is not getting any easier for Tickles. Going up against the 3 cores on Secret. Even Jakiro late game is an absolutely incredible core once you pick up the Aghanim Scepter, which he almost has. He's 100 gold off. Less than 100 gold. Yeah,
he did change his mind, which makes... This is the one time I'm sad not to see a BKB, because...
You want to see 5.
I just can't even picture it on Jakiro. Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Will be an Aghanim Scepter, like you said, so the Macropyre will have a ridiculously long duration, will deal pure damage, go through spell immunity, and have 400 extra range.
Yeah, basically...
So see a smoke from Team Tickles.
They've got the Night Stalker roll.
Ace going to pop that ult, the cold snap. Anisha's going to Manta it off immediately, but there's the Deafening Blast. He's stuck inside the kinetic field. Will he be able to get a Sunder off? No, nice timing on the Ace BKB, but he ends up Sundering Celery instead. It's a little bit of a mistake there from the Treant Protector as Boom getting chased from Sumail. So the first to die is the Invoker. Buys back into the game, but this fight is basically over for Team Tickles already. Now the chase is onto Ace. He's going to get bashed up. Puppey in the vicinity. He's going to take Yapsor back with him. Not sure if that was intended. But it looks like the Night Stalker will get out. But it cost a buyback onto Boom, so he's just left to jungle now.
Yeah, this is looking rough. The Terrorblade looking like an absolutely spectacular answer to the Razor. You can see he goes in, he does all of this damage, and Ace is in there too, and all of a sudden he just turns around and he sunders. Like, he just does not get bursted quickly enough to have him not get the Sunder off with the items that he has.
Oh, Yapsor. All right. That was an interesting choice. He was charging from global range, and then once his target went under the tower, I figured he'd just stop, but he really felt it. You know, sometimes you just get a feeling that you need to follow. But sometimes, as you know better than most, Jenkins, it is indigestion, and you can't trust any feeling like that. As Roshan number 2 will be taken out, and Nisha gets the Aegis, and the shard, I assume, will go to Sumail. Yeah. Who also has Arcane Rune.
So Secret giving the Aegis to their Terrorblade means that they probably want to siege soon, because this is not a hero that's particularly good with the Aegis. Obviously, you use Metamorphosis. This is a cooldown. You're not going to have it when you come back alive, so pretty bad. Storm, a hero who is incredibly effective with full mana, full HP. However, Storm's not the one that's going to be hitting towers. So they're going to put Nisha up there on the high ground. They know they have enough of a gold lead that they can do this. They're looking to end the game fairly soon, which I don't even think they have to. They can, so they're doing it, or they're planning to do it, but I don't even think they have to. Once again, their Tricore is super effective.
Yeah, I mean, with the last couple of fights going disastrously for Team Tickles, as you can see, the pick-off here from Sumail finds a nice, easy one onto Tofu. But the last few fights have kind of snowballed this in Secret's favor by a long shot. I mean, 14k net worth lead is pretty gigantic at this stage. So from Team Tickle's standpoint, is there, like, what's the plan of action? Because Ace has been... It feels like he's been nullified to a degree. He's had this BKB Echo Saber for, it feels like 10, 15 minutes, although that's probably an exaggeration. But he just hasn't had any itemization. I don't even think we've seen the double Eye of the Storm yet, have we? At least I haven't noticed it.
No, he's been dying too quickly. Man, I mean, how do you take these fights if you're Tickles? Are you close to Disruptor Ags? The Disruptor Ags would be a good timing, because I feel like the Treant ulti is countered by Manta and the BKBs, and, Sumail's got a bottled Illusion Rune. Like, there's all of these things to counter the Tickles timings, and it's items. So I think you need the Disruptor Ags, and that's when you can possibly turn the game. But there's a lot of pressure on Tofu to probably hit both Sumail and Nisha with the ult. Will he die? He will. He's gone down. Yeah.
He will die indeed. Am I wrong to say that Tree as a hero, I'm not saying it doesn't win ever. It feels kind of gimmicky. Just the hero in a pro game. You know what I mean?
It's definitely gimmicky. I mean, I feel like the problem, though, is that half of Dota heroes are gimmicky.
Wow.
Oh, what the?
When you can get a kill that easily on a core hero for the enemy team, that is not good news for Team Tickles.
Yeah, well, Secret, man, they're really bringing their A game this time around.
Indeed. And people have talked about how they just haven't looked like the same Secret. Obviously, quite a different lineup. As we're going to have to hold on to that thought. As Sumail jumps in with that Aghanim Scepter, gets the stun onto 2. BKB pop from Dyrachyo. He has the double Eye of the Storm, and that's going to absolutely demolish Ice Ice Ice. But now they have to back up as the BKBs are dissipating. Dyrachyo at half HP. Looks like they'll find Puppey at the very least. He does not have buyback. And Nisha still with the Aegis intact. Fine to just right-click, but the overgrowth safe for that long. There's another stun from Sumail. Jumps in with the Static Storm to keep him in place, but he has the BKB. It's not going to be enough to get away, though. Only one left for Secret, and it's the Aegis carrier in Nisha. Trying to get that tower, but don't think he's going to find it. He's completely outnumbered. They're going to get minimum 1 life, and I can't imagine him getting out of it.
Yeah, surely he dies twice here. I mean, I don't know what buttons you can press to... He still has Thunder.
Oh, he wants to get the tower.
Oh, the back door.
The back door, very sad. So great hold from Team Tickles. Was that true? They did lose 2, required a buyback onto the Night Stalker, but they'll take that any day of the week.
I can't help but feel that Nisha kind of made a mistake here, just fighting into Dyrachyo. Like, I get that you're Terrorblade and that your hero is designed to do that, but it gives him a full duration static link, which is exactly why he turns and just murders Ice 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 with the second one, because the guy's sitting on like plus 200 and something damage on Razor, and you can see how pathetic Nisha's right clicks are as this strong carry hero. And now he's just left alone. Dyrachyo finally goes down after all of that right clicking that Nisha did to him. Once again, I like the concept of you pick Terrorblade because you can man fight and kill the Razor. However, I think in that scenario, you can walk away from the link. You don't have to give him a full link just because your hero likes the man fight. So it's an interesting like testing of that concept. Like, can you do this into a high ground Razor? No, you can't. You need to back off.
Yeah, that's keeping in mind they do have a Jakiro that has Shard, and I mean it's not the fastest push, but it's extremely effective. So I figure that they would maybe not force it as much as that, considering they have some backup options to hit the tower. But for Team Tickles, they take advantage. And
yeah, I
mean, with that little fight there, that's a Shiva's now on to Boom. Is there finally some progression for Ace? He must have something coming, surely. He's been stuck on these same items forever.
He has 2,000 gold. Maybe Blink Dagger to try to get the backline IO, although IO's pretty tanky, man. I mean, Ghost Scepter, you're not really killing him. You're not killing it. Spear Breaker's not a backliner. Ice 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 is not a backliner either this game. He's got 2,500 HP.
All 10 smoked here. And yeah, Night Stalker not the hero that will really farm the jungle very well. So it kind of can get stuck on itemization for sure.
Yeah, you need to get killed.
Looks like they're just going to pass around each other here.
Yep.
How common is Ags on Night Stalker these days? I feel like I'm seeing a lot less lately when we see the hero.
Not very common. The nerfs just made it kind of bad, honestly.
All right, Team Tickles have the high ground. Ace with the Dark Ascension. Tornado's going to catch Nisha for now into the Tornado, into the Static Storm as well. This will be a huge pickoff, and they're going to find him. Absolutely no problem for Team Tickles. And with that, Secret have to try to abort, but Ice 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 and Puppey will likely fall. So 3 quick pickoffs in favor of Team Tickles. And you can see, as YapzOr pops the BKB and charges away, why Team Tickles have been such a force in this EU DPC.
Yeah, and Tofu, as usual, having such a profound impact on the game, on a hero that you maybe wouldn't expect. That Aghanim Scepter, absolutely game-changing. I'm pretty sure if you look back at the replay, you would see that Secret at no point saw the Aghanim Scepter, because I don't see Nisha playing so far up if he knew that there was an Ags on Disruptor. That was... I mean, there's no counter to that. You have to relocate out, but there's also good answers for the reload. Like, you might just reload and then tether directly into the Disruptor ulti, right? Because it's so huge now.
I think if they knew for a fact that Terrorblade did not have buyback, they would commit to the full racks there. I don't see any reason to back up right now. But then again, there is a lot of catch for Secret, so with the cooldowns coming down, and they don't push super fast, but still a huge fight for Team Tickles as they've cut it to a 7K lead now.
Yeah, never count this team out, man. You give them an inch, they take a mile.
YapzOr with the charge, focusing on Tofu. You can see the sentry is placed by Tofu. As Yapzor pops the BKB, he's getting linked by Dyrachyo. In the meantime, you see Sumail stuck inside the Static Storm again. He's going to get dropped easily. 95 seconds, no Sumail. This Disruptor Ags is literally turning this game upside down. We'll see the glimpse onto Puppey. Looks like he's likely going to fall. Has the Ghost Scepter, but no. He gets the tether off in time, and now the fight for Team Secret. Nisha pops that BKB, focusing on Dyrachyo now. Gets the Manta to be able to get out of the overgrowth. Dyrachyo gets clipped just by the Ice Path at the last moment, and the charge from Yapzor is enough to take him out. Does have buyback on the Razor if he wants to expend it, but it looks like Team Tickles are fine to just retreat as they lose their Treant as well.
Yeah, Yapzor with an Arcane Burn during that fight. Just able to get off so many charges. He's 23, so he's got the charge speed talent as well. Like, what a menace. Tickles, though, I mean, they get a trade. They do get Sumail on the Storm, which only happens because of this Lotus Orb here on the... Oh, actually, he did not get dusted, but the Glimmer into immediate ult there from Tofu. Huge impact. But I think if you're not getting Nisha, there's still a way for Secret to fight, and that's kind of obvious after this fight. He does enough damage because they used everything to kill Sumail. All of a sudden, Nisha can
that's true.
Go into the fight, and he's not getting linked by Razor. Does a ton of damage. What an Ice Path. Very nice Ice Path.
And there's kind of this awkward timing that we've seen a couple times already this game where Razor's ult is up, but Refresher is not. So you're kind of stuck between, like, do I use it? Like, do I really want to fight here? Because obviously when you have that Refresher, it just, I mean, it literally doubles your damage.
It doubles your effectiveness on that hero.
And he's almost 25 as well. So the +1 Eye of the Storm target in addition to that is going to be crazy.
I'm curious.
That is a huge power spike.
I don't know if he goes for that talent. I feel like 80 attack speed on Razor is pretty damn good too, because you get the extra attacks during the static link. So it used to be 100 though, and people would, you know, obviously better at that point. But we'll see what he goes.
Roche is going down pretty low. This is the Refresher Shard in here. Ace is going to pop that ult. They've scanned already, so they know they're in the vicinity. Boom! The huge deafening blast as Nisha's able to snag the Aegis and Roshan himself as Dyrachyo pops that Refresher, so you got to be careful with his Eye of the Storm doing so much damage to Nisha. That's just going to be the Aegis. So Sumail jumps in, focusing on Boom for now. He's going to have to focus on somebody else as Boom is actually just going to drop his own accord thanks to the Orchid Burn. And Secret winning this fight handily. Dyrachyo, in the meantime, attempting to TP out. Thanks to the Lincolns, he will be able to. They get the cheese, they get the Aegis. I'm not sure who got the Refresher Shard.
Nisha got it. So that's, like...
Wow.
You talk about terribly not being good with Aegis. Okay, at this point, when you pick up a Refresher Shard, now he is good with Aegis, because he refreshes the Metamorphosis, if he even needs to. He didn't even have to use the Metamorphosis there. So he's got 2 metas now, and 2 Sunders, 2 BKBs. He's a big juicy boy.
He's a big juicy boy indeed. A lot of armor on that. Typically, juicy boys don't have armor, but he does. Yeah. Inherently.
Yeah. He's got a hard
They
shell.
might be able to just finish this game. They might just go for tier 4s, and they're going to do exactly that. 1 buyback available. It's on the Disrupt. They're going to jump Dyrachyo for now. There's the Macro Pyre. In addition to the right clicks from Nisha are just way too much to handle. Buyback onto the Razor now. And this is going to be at the very least a tier 4, if not more. This might be GG, in fact. The Celery getting jumped in the meantime. He's Orchided up. Has the Lotus, but doesn't use it. Maybe wants to wait for the buyback here. It's now a 5v3 in favor of Team Secret. Sumail just trying to buy as much time for Nisha to be able to just right-click that Ancient, and they're just going to right-click down the Razor instead, and this is looking way over. Team Secret win game 1. What an exciting game, though.